Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling Fire Talk Radio Airlines. We are grounded for the time being due to bad weather. Um, if you want to take a flight, unfortunately at this time, Southwest and us are grounded. Why, we have no idea, so please be patient with us. Enjoy some free alcohol in your beanbag chairs and enjoy the in-flight movie.
I can only count to four. I can only count to four. I can only count to...
We're back.
We are. We're here.
We are.
Holy shit.
We're back. It's Ryan and Jason here with episode 17 of Fire Talk Radio. We're live on YouTube today.
I actually turned it on.
So whenever we go live, we don't tell you, and you have to kind of hit or miss us, but you can always go back and rewatch the episode if you want to see what our ugly mugs look like.
That is the great thing about YouTube Live, man. They are replayable.
That's right. So what's some stuff we got going on today, Ryan?
All right, so you need a new mini fridge. Xbox decided to turn their new Xbox into a mini fridge because we made fun of it so much. We're going to talk about a couple strikes that are going on. Kaiser and John Deere. Southwest did a funny one, though. We'll get more into that later. Hopefully we'll get to the school shooting that happened in Texas. Supposedly self-defense, supposedly not. We'll get more into that. Talk about R. Kelly. Kelly, even though he was convicted, is now trying to get himself a plea deal.
Yep. We've got Joe Rogan, his podcast episode with CNN's medical Gupta.
I think he
Sanjay
needs
Gupta.
to sue CNN. I think he does need to sue CNN for all that. That's some hate.
Oh yeah, wait till you see the clips on that.
Talk about it was successful. They did raise the debt ceiling in Congress.
Temporarily
until I think it's till December 3rd,
which they do every time.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We're going to talk into Biden's massive spending bill of
his quote unquote infrastructure bill.
The infrastructure bill. You know, Pete Buttigieg is right now on leave, on administrative leave.
How bad do you have to be at your job, or how unimportant are you that you can be gone for 2 months on paternity leave and nobody notices?
Is that what he's on paternity leave?
Yeah, him and his husband adopted a child. So
how do you get paternity leave for adoption? I'm sorry.
That's a part. It's in a lot of union contracts, government contracts, all of that. You're allowed paternity leave. Even at Apple, when I worked there, we were allowed paternity leave for either adoption or a birth.
That's weird. But that's why the boats are stuck in the water. So,
well,
if you haven't figured it out, we have like 60 some boats full of all of our stuff sitting off the coast of California at this moment.
And New York.
You know, it's funny. What's his name from Florida? The governor of Florida said, "Hey,
DeSantis,
come down here.
Yeah.
We'll unload you." I was like, "Yeah."
And you know what?
Problem is, even if they get unloaded, they don't have enough. They don't have enough truckers to move it across the U.S. because they don't want to use trains. How the fuck does that make sense? Tell me.
I don't understand not using trains, not using pipes, but sending everything across the highway.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so on top of that, since we're kind of on the subject, did you hear Biden, his plan? Did you hear what he said for his plan to
Tax mileage?
offload that? What's that?
No. Mileage tax?
His
Is it the
plan-
mileage tax?
No, his plan was to let them run 24/7.
Oh, I see pileups in our future. I see mass pileups.
So Biden gets on TV, talks about the plan of how he's going to, alleviate this these pileups of boats, with all of our stuff basically on there. And he said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to have them run 24/7, because as it is right now, America is the only country that when it comes to our ports, which are basically government entities of themselves, and the U.S. ports are basically ran by the unions, i.e. the mafia, in my opinion. And they, like working at a port, a person that unloads, they make like over $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
They work an 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Problem
his plan
because of
is
the COVID restrictions. I was watching something that they couldn't have everybody on the crane at the same time that they needed. So it was some weird thing they had going on with the crane and people. So I'm like, man, just fucking lift the COVID restriction, let people actually work. And
well, yeah. And on top of that, every place that I've worked, when we were behind and we needed to catch up, it wasn't like a big deal. Like, basically the boss would come in and go, hey, you guys are getting overtime.
Yeah, I love those days. When I'm sitting there, hey, we're behind. Hey, guess what? You're staying late.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Or, hey, for the next 2 weeks or until we catch up, we're going to be running 10 or 12-hour shifts. It's normal in the private sector to do that.
Yeah.
It's normal. But for some reason, for the government to do that, it's this big deal that he has to get on TV. And here's the thing, it's not going to do anything because, like you said, even if they could get him off the ships, they have to go somewhere. He can't change the restrictions of the truck drivers. He can't add more truck drivers. In fact, thanks to the California governor, it's going to be even worse because the California governor wants all trucking to be electric.
Yeah. I don't know how that's gonna fucking work. I'm sorry. Fucking Gavin Newsom needs to, I don't know, take the dick out of his ass and grow a pair of balls and fucking stand up to his aunt. If y'all don't know who his aunt is Nancy Pelosi, and actually fucking run California the way he's supposed to. Because he's running into the fucking ground. That's what's
and
sad.
yet you guys voted for him to stay in office.
No, I think a lot of that was fucking rigged. And call me a conspiracy theorist. That shit was rigged.
I don't think with California they need to rig much. I think there is that many people that don't want to see a Republican in office. They're so ingrained that, even Schwarzenegger wasn't really a Republican.
Yeah, he's a fucking joke. I'm sorry. His Nazi father-loving ass is something. Yeah, didn't know Arnold Schwarzenegger's dad was a Nazi. Yeah, well, I mean, look at Tesla. Tesla officially left California.
Yeah, they're in Texas
September.
now.
They're in Texas now. And then I saw Gavin Newsom come out and goes, oh, well, let's see what Tesla actually did for California. I don't think they did much. I was like, I'm sorry. That's $1 billion company plus on top of SpaceX.
And the people that they hire for a lot of money that are spending money in California.
Yeah. And you want everything electric and you're just going to kick the one main electric guy out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Now, would you want a Tesla? I would. I rode in a Tesla over the summer, and it was, I'm not going to lie, the coolest experience.
Oh no, I have too. I didn't get drive in one, but I sat in one. Over in the King of Prussia Mall, they actually have a Tesla dealership in the mall. We were checking out the SUV. It's third row seating. You know, my wife was like, "Oh, we have third row seating," and then I started watching more information about the autopilot feature. It's like claimed like 18 to 20 people, and due to because no one's paying attention to what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, but think about this. Here's my argument for the autopilot feature. Its reaction time and everything else is so much better than a person's reaction time.
Understandable.
It can react to the road conditions faster. It can react to braking faster. It can react to all of that.
Not to cops. Not to cops. They have videos of them running right square back of cop cars because it's not, I guess, in tuned or something. I'm not sure what they're.
I haven't seen them videos, but yeah. So my thing with the Tesla is with the auto is that I think there's going to be some, but I think
pay for electricity too, man.
What I'm talking about is the auto drive. I think it would lower the amount of car accidents overall.
Have you ever seen that show Upload on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, the one where the guy dies and
yeah.
Well, yeah, I love that show.
All their cars are all autopiloted.
Yeah. Yeah, till someone hacks your Tesla. But it was the coolest thing riding in it. One, you don't have a motor, so like you get this like weird vertigo feeling the first time because you're not used to. All of a sudden it's like you're going from like 35, like we jumped on the highway and it's like all of a sudden, up to, it won't speed. That's the one thing that drove me nuts. So it's 75 in Michigan on most interstate highways. Everyone does 85. Oh, yeah. So it wouldn't go above 75 for us.
Oh, man.
But the get up on it, and it just feels weird because it's like it feels like you're just like your gut just moves back because you don't feel the motor, you don't feel the road. It just, goes. And then
did you have an autopiloted one or no?
We did. So it's a buddy of my dad's that had it, and we turned the autopilot on, and he's like, yeah, he just pushed a button and the autopilot went on, and he sat back, and he's like, now the only thing is I can't be playing on my phone. It actually tracks my eyes that I have to be watching the road.
So if you take your eye off the road, it's going to be like, oh, disengage. And you're like,
Yeah, I don't know what it does. Like you can't take a nap or something, but
well, that's what a lot of people were doing. They were like fucking going to bed while the car drove them somewhere. I'm like, man, that would save so much time on like overnight car trips. Like,
could you imagine
just fall asleep?
Being a repo person with a Tesla and being like, you know what? I need to get this car back. Type in a couple things, and the car drives itself back to you.
Yeah, right. Well, I've seen. So I saw it. Some guy at our grocery store. We actually have a Tesla charging station there. He was in front of the store. He hit a button on the key. It looked like, and next thing you know, the car just pulled out of the stall and then drove over to him. I was like, the fuck? No.
Yeah, but then the other part that was cool is he was playing with the different views, and like it literally looked like there was like a drone over top of us looking down on us. Like you could see in the thing like from above, and I'm thinking my brain can't wrap around how that works. The interpolation that has to be done with all them cameras on the sides.
Yeah. That's nuts. That would drive me absolutely bonkers. How do you see us from that far? I was like,
but no, it was cool because it's like you could see and like, you look in the mirror and someone's in my blind spot, and then you look at the screen and go, oh, someone's in my blind, like look in my mirror, no one's there. Look on the screen, somebody's there.
Nice. Yeah. There's a lot of sensors on a lot of new cars that have that. But speaking of new cars, good luck finding one because they're all at. I think we discussed this couple weeks ago where they're all fucking sitting there because they're waiting for chips.
Chips that are on the boats that can't get unloaded.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense. It's like we used to make those chips. Why don't we fucking go back to making those chips?
Yeah, I know.
It makes sense. Oh,
well,
all right, and then.
My dad's car, which is only, I want to say 5 years old, has been sitting at the mechanics for like a month now because he's waiting on a chip. And the chips, as they come in, are going to the manufacturers first because they have contracts. The mechanics only get basically what the overage is. So my dad, he's like, I don't know if or when I'm ever going to get my car back.
I think we need to go back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s cars. I think we need to go back to them. No computer chip. 2 keys.
You can work on them yourself.
Best anti-theft in the world, clutch.
You know, my wife, what is it, a 2015, I believe, Ford Escape. The blower motor went for her air conditioning and heat. So we have to get that replaced before winter comes because we're already dropping into the 30s at night and 70s, 60s, 70s in the day. And so I was looking up, I'm like, these are easy to replace. I did it on my vehicle a few years ago, my older vehicle. It's right under the glove compartment. And I looked it up and I'm like, yeah, it's right under the glove compartment. Nope. Because now... It used to be they were right under the glove compartment for the Ford Escapes up until 2013. Starting in 2014, they moved it to the middle underneath the dash. And you have to take the brake and the gas pedal off. You have to take everything out on both sides to be able to push it out from the driver's side to the passenger side. It takes you 2 hours, they said, for a mechanic. So if I did it, it would take me about 9.
It'd take you a day to get that all done.
Just to get everything out, to get that thing out, it'll take me 10 seconds to put the new one in because it's just unplug and plug the new one in.
Yeah.
And then to set it back in and then put everything back where it was supposed to go, how it went.
Correctly. That's always been my luck. If I disassemble it and I reassemble it, I always end up with an extra part, and I'm like, fuck, where was this supposed to go again?
Yeah.
And
so that's the thing that pisses me off because I'm looking at the part, and the part's only $150. Well, the mechanic quoted us $900.
Oh, yeah.
And then I realized after looking at that, $700, that's all in labor.
Yeah.
Because it's not I can just pop it out now. I have to take everything under the dashboard out first, which pisses me off to no end.
So you're going to do it yourself, huh?
I'm going to try.
Oh, man.
Although, based on this weekend, I don't know if
pictures of everything you do. That's what
based on this weekend, doing plumbing, I don't know if I want to try. Fucking hate plumbing.
I've never been like my wife. I told my wife, I was like, I'm not a handyman kind of dude. If I don't know what it is half the time, I'll try to figure it out. If I don't, I probably know somebody who does.
Well, YouTube is my best friend.
Do it or do it for me.
Yeah. But
all right.
No, yesterday. So yesterday, I'm out cutting the grass. Our lawn it's like the last time of the year before I put the lawnmower away because everybody around me cuts their grass and I'm the reject that lets his grass grow. And so our ground is wet because I kept waiting for it to dry out and it won't dry out. End up getting the lawnmower stuck. Nobody was around. My son and my wife were gone for the weekend. So I had to wait till today to get it out to have my son get on the lawnmower and put it in drive while I push it. But anyway, so I come in, go to use the restroom, flush the toilet backs up. Crap. Take the plunger, plunge the hell out of it. Not working. So I go down and buy a snake.
Jesus Christ.
I buy a snake to snake it out. That's not working. I'm snaking that thing out for like an hour.
Oh no.
Then I have to go under the house and snake it and open up the sewer line, snake it up the sewer line up into the toilet that way.
Oh,
that's
no,
gross in and of
really
itself.
Cool.
What's that?
There's something that's really cool. You should order. It's a CO2 snake. It literally is. You put a CO2 card. You put a plunger in the hole, CO2 card, and you push it, and it pushes a big bolts of air right through the pipe. Fucking best thing ever.
That would probably help me. So I eventually, after attacking it multiple times from both ends, I end up getting it unclogged. Everything's working there. I'm again winterizing for the winter. Go to turn off and all the water and stuff outside. My hose spigot, outdoor spigot, won't shut off. Fuck. So today, go down to Home Depot, buy a new one, go to put that in, it doesn't fit. Go back to Home Depot, get the longer one, put that in, still doesn't fit. Go back to Home Depot, now I've got the new one, which I know is only off by a couple inches, got the old one in my hand, and I'm holding them, and I'm looking at it going, I need something to go in between this and this. It took me and the guy at Home Depot like 45 minutes looking through all of these couplers to figure out what it is, get it in there. I finally get it all together, seal it up, all of that. And then I end up having to take it all apart because now all of a sudden the seal wouldn't let it turn correctly. So I had to take it off so I could take the seals off. And plumbing in and of itself is not hard. It's just so many little freaking things that if you don't know, like right then and there, oh, I need this, and this at the hardware store, you're making like 10 trips.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all of that makes me go, do I really want to tackle my wife's car or do I just want to pay the money?
I'd pay the money. I would pay the fucking money. So speaking of money, we're gonna go back to the infamous connection of the Hunter Joe Biden money laundering.
Oh yeah. This goes back a year.
I know, right? That great old laptop that was found by a mysterious guy.
Yeah, if you guys don't remember, last year, right at about this time,
a laptop appeared out of Delaware.
Yes. And it had Hunter Biden's emails on it. And the FBI went in, or the Secret Service, one of the two, I think the FBI, went in and wanted to confiscate this laptop. Thankfully, the guy, before giving it over, cloned the hard drive.
Gave it to Rudy Giuliani.
Yep. So for the last year, and the thing is we're seeing in there all of the connections of Joe Biden to Hunter to his co-worker to China. Like, this is where all the connections are being made. Photos and videos verifying that it was Hunter Biden's laptop, because Hunter Biden is a dope and he would leave his laptop just, oh, hey, he fixed my laptop and forget about it.
Well, he probably got high in there smoking, snorting Parmesan cheese out of his carpet.
Out of a stripper's ass.
Well, no, he went on record. Yeah, he snorted so much coke out of a carpet. Half it was Parmesan cheese. I was like, I think you would know coke from Parmesan cheese, but I guess it all depends on how stoned you are.
And so with that though, was it the BBC or Daily Mail? It was one of the British news agencies. BBC did a investigation into the emails and did a deep dive. And
yeah,
in
that's
those
how they found the
emails,
connection with Prince. Oh no, that's fucking thinking of that's Gwyneth Maxwell or Giselle.
oh
What's
yeah,
her name? Yeah,
yeah,
with Prince Andrew.
Giselle Maxwell, yeah.
Did you
But
see that they're dropping that against Prince Andrew?
he's
All
Prince
the
Andrew.
pedophilia?
It's Prince Andrew. It's England. What do you expect?
I'm sorry. I mean, I got to talk to my foster dad. He's from England. I was like, how do you feel about this? Because I know Mom, if she was still alive, she would be like fucking infuriated that they're dropping it. Who knows?
But back to the Hunter thing. So now the emails, because we weren't allowed to see all the emails, just a couple of them that got leaked to the press
there's a
and
few of
stuff.
them that got leaked.
But now what they ended up finding is that Hunter and Joe Biden shared a bank account.
Yeah, and money was passed.
And money was passed. Now the question is was Joe Biden paying Hunter's cocaine habits? We know that Hunter was paying some of Joe's utilities bills. Were they doing that to launder money or to hide money?
Who knows?
Was Joe getting kickbacks from China and the Ukraine through that bank account?
Now the question is, since now the IRS is now looking at our banks, are they going to look at the presidents? Are they going to look at Hunters? Where's this money going?
I mean, you're talking about the same Hunter Biden that illegally purchased a firearm and then illegally threw it away in the garbage across from a school. And the Secret Service showed up and they wanted to hide it. Secret Service showed up to take the gun and do their own quote unquote investigation.
Then,
and you know what? You don't hear anything else about it.
Oh no, you won't. I mean, just like this one, amazingly enough, it got caught. It got caught today during Miss Circleback's fucking talking to her breaking the Hatch Act. We're going to go into that because I didn't even know what the Hatch Act was until today, until I looked it up, because that's a no-no, what she did.
Yeah.
Question is, will she be punished for it is the question. She should be. It's violation of law. So, and we all know how they want to be so lawful. Sorry.
All right. Playing the video.
Oh.
I have to be a little careful about how much political analysis I do from here and not traipse into that too much. Look, I think the president, of course, wants former Governor McAuliffe to be the future governor of Virginia. There is alignment on a lot of their agenda, whether it is the need to invest in rebuilding our roads, rails, and bridges, or making it easier for women to rejoin the workforce. We're going to do everything we can to help former Governor McAuliffe, and we believe in the agenda he's representing.
So, the Hatch Act basically says that an employee of the executive branch cannot campaign for a political party or person while on duty. That's essentially what it says, while working.
The only two people that are allowed to are the president and vice president. But she's neither one of those. Thank God.
And it wasn't even just her saying, oh, yeah, Joe Biden supports him or anything. If you listen to that part, she actually talks about what he's going to do and why you should vote for him. That's campaign. But she's not alone with that. Harris herself is in trouble for violating law also this week for campaigning at churches. So the let me find it here. The Johnson Amendment from 1954 prohibits all 501c3 nonprofit organizations from endorsing or opposing political candidates. So a company can do that, like, Apple or Johnson and Johnson or something like that. They can, because they pay taxes, and because they pay taxes, politically they're considered a person.
Yeah.
A nonprofit doesn't have to pay taxes. A church doesn't have to pay taxes. And this is the video that Harris played at churches in Virginia. Multiple churches. Lots of churches.
We were taught that it was our sacred responsibility to raise our voice and lift up the voices of our community. One of the most significant ways I believe that we can each use our voice is through our vote. So Virginians, you have the opportunity now to raise your voice through your vote, because it's election time. I believe that my friend Terry McAuliffe is the leader Virginia needs at this moment.
I believe we need to throw her off the Chesapeake Bay Bridge.
So churches have certain things. This comes from Freedom from Religious Foundation. Have certain rules that they are not allowed to campaign at church services or on church grounds. Yeah. They cannot endorse or oppose candidates. They cannot make any communication either from the pulpit or a newsletter about endorsing a candidate. They cannot make expenditures on behalf of a candidate. They can't ask candidates to sign any pledges. And this is the one, they cannot distribute partisan campaign literature. Did you hear what she said?
Oh, she said all of it.
That is campaign literature, right? Like flat out. And they're sending it out to multiple churches. Yeah. This is the administration that's supposed to be so above par with their ethics. They're the ones that claim that they're the most ethical administration.
No, it's the fact that they couldn't handle the mean tweets.
I can't believe literally everything that they claim Trump did, this administration is doing.
They're proving everything that Trump did. They're doing everything that they accused Trump of, just so they can say, "Oh yeah, see, just Trump did it, so we did it." No, stop it, people.
I don't remember Trump sending out anything to churches.
He never did. No. I'm not saying he actually did. I'm saying they're going to use the excuse, "Oh, well, Trump did it," right? Without actually pulling any facts. That is the one thing I've noticed when they go, "Oh yeah, Trump did this, this, and this." I was like, "Okay, tell me how he did it." "Oh, I read it somewhere." Okay. We have Google on our phones. Google that shit.
Yeah.
And then they get huffy and they, "Oh, he's racist," and then walk off. I'm like, what? That's not what this is about.
It racist compared to the guy that says poor kids are just as intelligent as white kids.
Oh man, then talks about how the little kids play with his hair in the pool while they watch it all bubble.
That was so creepy.
That's creepy. So fucking
That was
creepy.
so creepy.
I mean, so Trump did the First Step Act to get people out of jail. 95 crime bill by Joe Biden that put more people in jail. Oh, speaking of that, did you see? You know how Trump did so much money for historical black colleges?
Yeah.
You know, Biden took $30 billion away from that budget.
No, I wasn't aware of that one.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened. That happened last week. He cut their budget that Trump put in the budget for the next 10 years. So historical black colleges did not have to come asking for funds. Biden took $30 billion away.
Well, yeah, because now they have to come asking, which means you can make claims. I
Say
gave
no.
them this much.
Yeah. Trump said we could have it. Oh, well, he can't promise that. Blah, blah, blah. We need this money. I'm assuming that's what they're going to say. And that's just wrong. I'm sorry. You're talking about people wanting to go to college and blah, blah, blah. Why are you going to take money from them? Never.
I don't
never
know.
amazes me.
I have my philosophical issues with any college that is, all black or all white or all whatever, based anything on skin color or nationality. But even so, it's by doing that, and I have to read up on this to fully be informed, but based on what you're telling me, by doing that, he's basically holding the sword of Damocles over their heads. And that's what it is. If they have this money and they don't have to come to you to ask for it, you have no leverage over them. But now that you take that away and they do have to ask for it every year, every fiscal year, whatever it is, every couple of years, now you have the sword of Damocles that you can hang over their head and say, one, I can put out a press release saying I helped you. And two, you're going to endorse or, do something that helps me.
All right. I'll send you the link. And it's Newsweek. HBCU's funding fall from $45 billion to $2 billion under the last Biden spending plan. This was dated October 5th.
My birthday.
Happy
Fuck you, Biden.
birthday. Yeah. It's in our Discord. So, where is it? So that's just. I'm sorry. I think that's just the worst thing you can do. One president does one, and another president is literally trying to erase everything the previous president did.
Yeah.
You can
Let's
can
go,
say
Brandon.
everything you want.
You're there.
You don't
Let's
like
go,
him.
Brandon.
I was saying it the other day, and my daughter started cheering, "Let's go, Brandon!" And she started saying it, and I was like, I'm not going to correct this. I'm not going to correct this behavior. I want her to go to school and say, "Let's go, Brandon." That'd be great.
Yes. I want to get a Let's Go, Brandon t-shirt.
Should get her a Let's Go. That'd be hilarious. We should make some. When we start getting merged together, we're going to make a Let's Go, Brandon from Fire Talk.
I'm sure somebody else has done it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. There's plenty of fucking Let's Go, Brandon merch out there. No, that's all out there. So, but
a a Fire Talk Let's Go Brandon t-shirt. Fire Talk says, "Let's go, Brandon."
I forgot to put this on our show for tonight. It is I don't know how much you're well into like the comic book world when it comes to movies, right? So you have Marvel and then you have DC. Well, it's been DC's fandom for the last couple days. So they've been announcing all their trailers out. Well, the new Batman trailer came out for March 4th with Robert Pattinson. You don't know who Robert Patterson is? Yeah, there we go. Let's go, Brandon. Robert Patterson is the dude from Twilight. So
Yeah. He was also in Harry Potter.
yeah, Harry Potter. So they did cast him as Batman and Bruce Wayne. I was talking to my wife about this. She goes, "How do you feel about this?" I said, when they announced Ben Affleck as Batman, I gave it a chance. As I said, nobody can be worse than George Clooney. I mean,
You know,
I'm sorry,
Ben Affleck, in my opinion, wasn't that bad. I thought he
reminded me
did a halfway decent Batman.
So his bat suit reminded me more of the Earth One Batman, of the big bulky suit, and they did it as an older Batman. So it felt right. The way he did Bruce Wayne and Batman, I felt he did that right. So I wasn't too upset. So I was watching the trailer for Robert Patterson's Batman, and I was like, wow, if this goes the way the trailer's going, this could actually do very well for him. And I'm actually going to go see it when it comes out. Then I saw the Flash trailer. I'm not a huge Flash fan. I have the Flash.
I have
never
this
really
problem where I love the Flash CW show.
Yeah.
And Grant Gustafson, I think that's his name. It's Grant Guff something.
Yeah. The one for the TV show or the
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is an awesome Flash. And
he does a really good Barry Allen and Flash.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have this problem where I can't stand the DC Flash, the current DC Flash.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't have that appeal.
No, I can agree on that. So, did you watch the new Flash trailer that they're doing?
Yes, I think I saw it on Facebook.
Okay. So, I was watching it. I was thinking they were doing Flashpoint. So I was thinking they were going to go to Thomas Wayne. No. Fucking Michael Keaton. I can't. You cannot. I recognize that suit because I actually used to own one. I know that cape and cowl just by shadow. I was like, oh shit. And then Michael Keaton goes back on Twitter, goes, still fits. I was like, you can't say that and not say, oh yeah, that fucker just put the bat suit back on. I can't wait. That's probably the only reason why I'll actually watch the Flash movie, is knowing I'm going to see Old Man Wayne as Michael Keaton in Batman in the bat suit again.
I can see that, yeah.
That is the one thing, and that could twist into so many different things. Because if it is Old Man Bruce Wayne still using the bat suit, getting Barry Allen his powers back and yada 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 the way Flashpoint is intended, that means we have a chance of seeing a Batman Beyond. And that has been everybody's hope as a live action Terry McGinnis. I will lose my shit if a Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond a live action movie comes out. Because they cut that TV series in 99 after 3 seasons and just left it. And I was like, you could have done so much more with this. Yeah, that was my little rant for in the middle of the show, because I remembered that and I wanted to talk about that.
Well, while you're doing that, let me play the trailer for Batman.
Oh, the Robert Patterson one? Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
the sky. It's not just a call. It's a warning. I've been trying to reach you. Find the gun! This is a powder keg, and Ritter's the match.
I can take care of myself.
If this continues, it won't be long before you've nothing left. I don't care what happens to me.
It's only gonna get worse for you.
Whoa, take it easy, sweetheart. Hear everything they say, ain't you?
Maybe we're not so different. Who are you under there?
I'm vengeance. What's black and blue
Kind of like him in the
and
suit.
dead all over? You. Dear God.
I got you! I got you!
I kind
The
of like
part
him in
that
the
always
suit.
gets me every time I see that is when he does the "I am vengeance." It always puts a chill because Michael Keaton's Batman, Adam West, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, fucking now I can't remember his name.
Dark Knight.
Yeah, I can
Oh
see
God,
him
he is
in-
in The Pianist. I know who you mean. I can't think of his name.
All right, now I can't believe I'm doing this. I cannot remember his name. I'm gonna feel like an idiot once this pops.
Christian
up.
Bale.
Christian Bale. God. Ben Affleck never said, "I am vengeance." The only one that has ever said, "I am vengeance" is Kevin Conroy's. Kevin Conroy did the animated series for like 20 years. He's still the voice of Batman.
Well, looking at this trailer, maybe it's just me. The way that the Joker looks, the way that the
it's not the
Batsuit
Joker.
look-
It's
That's
not the Joker.
Joker?
It's Riddler. So
Is it
they're
really?
doing Riddler, Catwoman, and Penguin.
Okay. I need to rewatch that trailer again in better quality then.
That's what
But-
that question mark is in the coffee. It's the Riddler.
Oh. But it did look a lot like the 90s animated.
Yes, I'll give
Uh,
that. The definitely, because so when the 90s animated one was drawn, it was drawn on black canvas. That's why they were able to get the shadows the way they were. But that's also how they did with Tim Burton. Tim Burton's films were all black canvas based when they did it live. And I've noticed that with Robert Pattinson's, they're going back to the backgrounds, which is really neat.
Isn't that more reminiscent of the 80s Batman? The
Michael Keaton.
yeah, well, not the movie, but I'm talking the not the comic book, the graphic novel, the Miller novel.
Yes.
Graphic novel.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that
his
was all
graphic
done
novel
in
was was a lot of, rather than being black on white, it was a lot of white on black.
Yeah. That was when they changed from Adam West's color and to Nolan's darkness, and it came out so much better. And then this is what I'm looking forward
And
to.
then you get Batman with nipples.
I don't want to fucking talk about that. We're not gonna ever talk about that suit ever fucking again.
Batman with nipple suits.
That was my first statement when I first saw Batman and Robin. I was like, Batman nipples on bat suit.
You just want to you just feel like if you were like fighting him, you want to give him like a titty twister.
Yeah, right. It made me go. So I found out why there were nipples on the suit. They did an interview with Clooney about it. They put nipples on the suit because his nipples were chafing in the rubber suit. So they put the nipples there to give the extra room. And I was like, bitch, you need to bitch up and fucking just take off the nipples and just suck it up and just be Batman.
Well, anybody that's ever worked out knows you put Vaseline and masking tape on the nip, or not masking tape, athletic tape on the nipples.
Yeah, he's a bitch. So yeah, that version of Batman, I'm keeping an open mind, honestly. I'm hoping for the best. Hoping for the best, expecting the worst. So
well, I don't know, because Robert Pattinson, you look at him and his other stuff outside of Harry Potter and Twilight, and he does have a pretty good range. I just never saw him as a Batman. Although I guess before Christian Bale did it, I never would have thought of him either.
Well, no, actually, after what was that? God damn it! There was no. I mean, there was one movie that kind of made me think of him. Oh, Equilibrium.
Okay, yeah.
That kind of gave me a thought, going back watching that and then seeing how he plays Batman, kind of like, oh, this kind of led up to it because of that style that he was doing at the time. So, I mean, it kind of worked. I loved Equilibrium. If you haven't seen it, came out in 2002. It's a sleeper movie. You won't expect it until you watch it to become something. It was really good.
Yeah, I mean, he was also in Tenet, and he's done some actions before. So the only thing that with that trailer that it didn't show us is Batman isn't just in the bat suit; it's how he plays Bruce Wayne also.
Yeah, they haven't really done much showing how his Bruce Wayne is.
Right.
That is going to be his key. Can he do both? Can he do the rich billionaire, or is he just hanging out at his house and being Batman? Right. That is going to be the ultimate question, because there's a lot of sun points where the sun's up, where he's in the suit and he's with Selena Kyle, who, I mean, is starting to grow on me. That person playing Selena Kyle, she's starting to grow on me. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. But I mean, it's got Peter Sarsgaard in it. It's got Andy Serkis. It's got some good names in there. Colin Farrell.
Andy Serkis is being Alfred. So that is, I'm trying to figure out which version of Alfred he is. Is he going to be the hands-on Alfred, or is he going to be the standby Alfred?
Right.
Because the Alfred that was Ben Affleck's Alfred, he was hands-on. He actually piloted the car. He did.
And Michael Caine, rest his soul.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know he died? Didn't he just die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a little while ago. Yeah, but I remember when Michael Caine passed. Yeah.
Yeah. So Michael Caine, I don't know. I still like him as the best Alfred.
Oh, nobody can replace Michael Caine as Alfred. No.
Yeah, I think he was the best Alfred because, again, I grew up with the cartoon, and he reminded me most of the cartoon Alfred.
Have you seen Pennyworth on
I don't think so.
Epic?
No.
Yeah, it's Alfred Pennyworth prior to meeting Thomas Wayne. So that's definitely pretty. It's pretty interesting to watch. They're actually moving that season. I just found out they're moving the next season to HBO, so HBO Max. So I'll be able.
Maybe
to
he didn't. It doesn't show him as being. You know how on IMDb they have a born and a death. They don't have a death date for Michael Caine.
Oh,
Did I just slip from an alternate reality? Is this what's that called? We talked about it last week with the Bernstein Bears.
a Mandela effect.
Mandela effect. Am I having that right now?
I could have sworn he passed. No. No, he's.
I don't know. Well, I mulled this over
his birthday.
Huh. Wow, I must have had a Mandela effect. Well, while we're waiting on this, let's take a look at the Flash. We'll take a quick break and then we'll come back.
All right.
Greetings, DC fandom and domers. Ezra Miller here, live from the set of The Flash. It looks like this. We're very excited to show you the movie, and we can't yet because we're still making it. We wanted to show you a teaser, but we can't because we don't have enough material to make a teaser yet. We can't make a trailer, but we do have this small sneak peek that my maestro Andy and I have put together that we really hope you'll enjoy. And I will see you in theaters later next year, or more importantly, you will see me.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere you want, right? Any timeline, any universe. Why do you want to stay and fight to save this one? You change the future. And you change the past.
Are you in?
Yeah, you can't mistake that Batmobile.
No.
Was,
so I saw glimpses of what looks like the Reverse Flash.
Well, no. So Have you seen Flashpoint before?
Like, have I read the comics or
Comic or seen the movie?
I didn't know there was a movie of Flashpoint.
There is. It's on HBO Max. Check it out.
I
The
know what I'll be
gag
watching tonight.
is when he goes back in time to save his mom. Reverse Flash puts his suit in Barry's ring.
Oh.
So when he goes to launch it to prove that he's the Flash, Reverse Flash suits come out, and he's confused. And then he realizes he doesn't have his powers. And there's a still out there of Batman standing next to an electric chair. The reason why the electric chair is there is that Barry Allen has to recreate the lightning strike. They use an electric chair to do it.
Oh, to give him the electric.
Yeah, so
to
he
get the
can
Speed
bond
Force.
with the Speed Force again.
Yep.
That is the coolest clip ever. I saw that. I was like, Batman's gonna fry Barry Allen. Batman's gonna fry Barry Allen. Batman is gonna fry Barry Allen. That is all that ran through my head in that moment. I was like, that's
still
do it. Let's do it.
This Barry Allen, Ezra's Barry Allen, Ezra's Flash, I still have a hard time with him. I think, you know,
I was bummed
for Grant
that
Gustafson being from Glee, he's still to me the quintessential, like how I think of when I was younger and I used to read the Flash comics.
Yeah.
That's who Barry Allen is to me.
He's a lot of people, that same Barry Allen. No, I completely understand.
Yeah, I mean, from all different universes, but in fact, there was a quick scene where in last year during the crossover for the CW where they all crossed over.
Yeah, I actually watched it.
Where the Flash went in and saw Ezra's Flash.
Yeah, where they crossed one each other. They're like, how did you do this? Kind of moment. That was the first time I got to see my Batman play Batman. When Kevin Conroy made his on-screen appearance as Bruce Wayne / Batman.
Oh, when he was the disgruntled, don't bother me, you know, I'm going to, you know, because he fought with Superman, and even with his suit, he won, but he basically got hurt so bad he couldn't move. He broke his back.
He's in an exoskeleton.
Yeah.
So that in the comics, in the movie Dark Knight Returns, he's beaten up really badly, and he's in an exosuit. I mean, his suit is huge, but he's old at the time. So it kind of made peace with Kevin Conroy being Old Man Wayne in that scenario. So I mean,
this kind of takes us to another thing before we jump to the quick break, because I need to get another beer. Superman, or actually I guess it's Superman's son, is bisexual.
I've had numerous conversations about that, because Robin, Tim Drake's Robin, came out as bisexual. Now Jonathan Kent, the new Superman, is now bisexual. And
they got rid of the truth, justice, and the American way. It's truth, justice.
I can't
remember what
I think the media, I think the new way of thinking in life is tearing apart how everyone's bending to everybody's
truth, justice, and a better tomorrow.
Yeah. And I can tell you right now, because that's not Clark Kent. That is Jonathan Kent. So Clark Kent and Lois Lane had twins.
Which
Jonathan
again,
Kent,
based CW, you can watch Clark Kent or Superman and Lois, and they talk about their kids. It's all about their kids.
Yeah. But they're not bisexual. They're not. Jonathan Kent's not bisexual in that movie, in that TV series. So that's going to be
yet,
interesting if they're going to change that. I really fucking hope they don't, because they're just going to.
Well, the thing is it's this whole PC thing. You know, trying to go PC on everything, going woke, that pisses me off. I mean, I think Dean Cain said it best. If they would have done this 20 years ago, that would have been brave. Now it's just pandering.
Correct. They're just pandering to the new kids in this. But we'll go ahead. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. And then we will get back into what's going on in the world today.
All right.
Crazy Town.
We'll be back in just a minute or two. Don't forget we're live.
Oh, I know.
Oh shit, I forgot a bottle opener. All right. I'm going old school, opening up with a tin of chew.
Oh Jesus. Man, dude, I used to do mine like off a table and go so. Yeah,
I tried holding it up to the camera, but I couldn't get the leverage.
Yeah. I mean, I guess nowadays, like, I've been watching TikTok. Girls are just putting their buttholes and just popping it off like that. That just kind of disturbs me in all sorts of weird ways.
Oh,
I mean, I understand putting shit in your butthole, but pulling a cap off?
Wait, you want to put shit in your butthole?
I don't want to put shit in my butthole.
I mean,
I don't know.
I watched an episode of House where they had to take shit from another person and put it up someone's butthole.
The poop transfusion. I remember that episode. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah,
we're gonna put good shit in this person to help the bad shit to become good shit again.
Yeah,
how he came up with that diagnosis fucking amazes me.
It's House how they come up with anything, but I asked my wife about
lupus,
that, and she's
though.
like, "Oh yeah,
Everything
that's a normal." Yeah, my wife, she's like, "Yeah, that's a normal thing. People that take too many antibiotics, they end up killing off all the bacteria in their gut, and so they take somebody from their household or somebody that lives nearby and transfer that in." And I'm like, "That's so good."
So that song, mind you, during the break that I was playing halfway through was Danger Zone by Psycho Stick, because we live dangerously and they are awesome. And I will reach out to Matt eventually once we start getting a little further in and have them on And
I wonder if they can actually like speak politically about the stuff we talk about. We'll just, or just we can have an interview with them too.
I think I'd do an interview and just bullshit with them. I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have the normal politicalness of our show in there unless we bring it up and they go, "Oh yeah, we have an opinion." I'm like, "Okay, what's your opinion? Let's have an opinion." Opinions are fine.
Speaking of opinion, in podcasts, Joe Rogan had on Sanjay Gupta this last week.
Oh God.
And he went to town on Gupta for CNN lying about him taking horse
dewormer.
Horse dewormer. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Calling it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing. I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing. That's a lie that they're conscious of. It's not a mistake.
Yeah, I'm missing.
Do you think that's a problem that your news network lies?
Well, I don't.
Dude,
I mean, what did they say?
They lied
and
said I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed to me by a doctor.
Yeah.
Along
they
with
shouldn't have said
a
it was
bunch
horse.
of other medications.
If you got a human pill, because there were people that were taking it, the veterinary medication, and you're not, obviously. You got it from a doctor, so that it shouldn't be called that. Ivermectin can be a very effective medication for parasitic disease. And as you say, it's probably, I think a 250 million people have taken it around the world.
More,
I get that.
Way more.
So
way more. Billions of people have taken it.
Can I just come back to the one I want to talk about? Two things
on
the ledger.
You have, before we get to that, you didn't ask? You didn't think that was you're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before
coming
on your podcast.
But they did it with such glee.
No,
yes,
Joe.
they did. I watched.
So,
Oh, he was so trying to circle back. I'm like, no, we didn't do that shit.
They did.
Do you have the videos of them talking it yet?
Of the net. Oh, this is the very next night. You mean on CNN?
Yeah.
Gupta just completely flips. So he's in this interview. He finally kind of half-heartedly agrees with him that it's not horse dewormer. It's prescribed ivermectin. It was wrong of CNN to say that. And then this is what he says the very next night on CNN.
That I think wasn't actually correct about CNN and lying, okay? Ivermectin is a drug that is commonly used as a horse dewormer. So it is not a lie to say that the drug is used as a horse dewormer. I think that's important, and it is not approved for COVID. Correct?
That's right. That's correct. It is not approved for COVID, and you're right. I mean, the FDA even put out a statement saying, basically reminding people, it was a strange sort of message from the FDA, but they said, you're not a horse, you're not a cow, stop taking this stuff, is essentially what they said, referring to ivermectin. Now, I think.
So, Ryan, I've got a bottle of water here. You know what that means? That means I drink car coolant, according to CNN.
I have a can of soda. What does that make me?
Unhealthy.
It's diet.
Doesn't make it less unhealthy. No. But the thing that pisses me off is it wasn't horse dewormered. Say just because they can make it for horses and dogs. I just gave some to my dog to get rid of, or as his monthly treatment for heartworms. Just because they can give it to that doesn't mean that it's not for humans. That's what Rogan was trying to say. Again, I drink water.
I can comment on that. So okay, my aunt, who I love dearly, if she ever hears this, I won't say her name, but I will say just use my aunt. She is a PA. She knows the difference between both. There are two versions of ivermectin. There is the veterinary version, and then there's a human version. Do you know Merck came out a few days ago? No, a couple weeks ago, actually.
Yeah.
Asking for a trial for their new pill for COVID-19 treatment. Okay. This is the reason why. Because they know ivermectin works for COVID. They know because of what it's for, because what it does. So, but ivermectin doesn't have a patent anymore. So Merck is making pennies to the dollar per script written, versus this new pill that they are treating that is it's a couple chemicals off from ivermectin, but enough to change the formula to
and
get
isn't
a
it
new
like
patent.
$3,000 a dose?
Yes. And I was like, wow. And then what the federal government said, if you are approved for the emergency use authorization, we will buy 1.7 billion doses. You're going to tell me this is not a money scam?
It is. But even on top of that, it drives
emergency use authorizations in effect, they are no longer liable for lawsuits of anything that happens.
But again, this is the crazy thing is I drink water. Water is used to cool nuclear reactors. So I'm drinking nuclear reactor coolant, according to CNN.
Sure.
That's the left's logic.
Honestly, I think Joe Rogan should sue CNN.
He should. It's libel.
Because the fact of this is that they gripped on, yes, okay, so yes, there is an ivermectin used for dewormers, yes. But they're forgetting the ivermectin that won
that Gupta
awards
even during
in 2015.
That Gupta acknowledged in the interview with Joe Rogan that is made for humans.
Yep.
Their chief medical advisor there.
As a treatment for COVID-19. But most doctors who handle respiratory anything knows that ivermectin will help with symptom severity.
You know, from what I've heard and from what I've read, I don't know necessarily about it being a preventative or anything like that, but for the treatment, what they are finding is if you take it early enough, it doesn't do anything really to the virus. But what it does is it helps your immune system, or it helps your body from creating these cytokine storms. I think I said that correctly. Which is what lands most people in the hospital.
Correct.
Because it has anti-inflammatory properties. It has properties to that help with the stop the reproduction of the virus in you so quickly. So yeah, so when they're testing it on people that are damn near dead, of course it's not helping them. But
so when Joe Rogan announced that he had it, I mean, he said he threw the kitchen sink at it. He was fluids and everything, and he took ivermectin. He said he only had one bad day. So he did the right thing. He started doing it. Okay, I'm diagnosed. Okay, I'm going to start all these treatments. It just happened. He caught it early enough to where, oh, I don't have to go to the hospital. I'm fine. And then he was actually tested 4 days later. He was no longer positive for COVID. He was negative. He had negative tests.
Which is what it is for most people. Once you start the symptoms, you usually don't have COVID by the time you get to the hospital.
Yeah.
The COVID's out of your system. So, you know, so if the thing is this drug can't hurt you if you take As long as you're not taking the actual, full horse dewormer, shooting the whole thing into your mouth.
If it's in a syringe, you don't take it. If it's a pill, you take it.
Right. And why not? Why not? Right now, you know what the protocol is if you go into the doctor and they test you for COVID and you're positive? Their protocol?
Send you home.
Send you home. Wait and see. See if you end up in the hospital. Why not say, let's send you home with some ivermectin? It can't hurt you. It may help, it may not, but it can't hurt you, so why not try it?
Yeah, so...
No, they say you have to inject yourself with, update after update of the vaccine every 3 months. Johnson & Johnson just came out with, the FDA just approved a booster for Johnson & Johnson.
I will say this, Johnson & Johnson, since they're not using the spike protein and they're using that, granted it only is like, 60 to 70% effective. Fine. I mean, I don't see, like I said, I don't see an issue. If I actually physically had to go get one, I probably would get the Johnson & Johnson one. And pray my heart ceases because I don't want it anymore. But the boosters, yeah, they were, FDA came out and said for 65 and older. But the thing is, the minute you get it, I mean, you're living on borrowed time for the vaccine shot anyways, because they said, it diminishes after 6 months or something like that?
Evidently,
so what the fuck is the point?
It's less than that according to what they're seeing, because people got them in April and were catching COVID at a rapid rate in July.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, go fuck yourself. No.
The vaccine is not a vaccine. It's closer to a prophylactic.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. No prophylactics for me.
But this is a prophylactic that could have potential problems down the road. I could have potential problems down the road. My son will not, because there is no way in hell he's getting this.
No, I already told my son no. I asked him if he was going to get it. I told him he's not getting it. He said, okay.
Especially when the chance of death or complications for a child is less
higher
than a person our age with the vaccine.
Yeah, it is so much higher. But I was reading something. I think there was 5 or 6 so far that they were that they reported under the age of 18 with heart issues now because of
I read
the vaccine. And I'm like, I mean, I understand that I'm sorry, this is my hypothetical because I was showing my wife the Bill Gates thing that he did a few years ago where he was talking about we need to get population control because we're going to have more people than the planet can support by 2050. And I was like, this is what they're doing. This is the only thing I can think of. This is what they're doing. They're
get rid of anybody
they want
over
the kids to do it.
Yeah.
They're
get
trying
rid of
to
the
kill
old
all
people.
the old people. Because if you haven't realized, since the medicine has become more modern and more advanced, the seniors of our nation are not dying off between their 60s and 70s. They're staying till their 80s, 90s, now going into 100, 110. And then now the rumor is that this could also sterilize the children so they can't have kids. So it's going to pass for 3 generations before the human population can start breeding again. And I'm like, no.
So
not my kid. That just disturbs me a lot because he was talking about that. And if you don't believe me, look it up.
That's been a theory that I have, a conspiracy theory. My dad has a theory that it wasn't developed in the lab to be a virus, that it was actually developed in a Chinese lab to be the vaccine of a virus that they were going to transmit and hold the world hostage. But it just so happened that the vaccine got out and mutated. And that's why normal vaccines, normal medicines aren't working, and why it's only attacking certain people. Certain people, and especially with certain blood types. What is it if you're O positive?
If you're O.
If you're O. Just O.
Yeah, because I'm just O. I'm O. My wife's O. O positive.
So, yeah. And if you have that blood type, you have they're finding less risk of death. That is attacking people with A and B.
Yeah, my kids are both O. We had their blood tested not that long ago. So,
I have no idea what my blood type is. I should.
Yeah. Dude, just go give blood and ask.
I can't give blood because I have staph. I have colonized staph.
Ooh. Yeah, I used to give blood all the time. And then when COVID hit, they asked us not to. And now that I don't have my vaccine, they're actually wanting me to come and donate more. Cause that I'm unvaccinated. And I was like, you didn't want me to during the COVID, but now that now the vaccine's out, but you want us that don't have the vaccine to come.
Well, imagine being my sister-in-law who worked in an ER during COVID, caught COVID herself, gave it to my brother, gave it to her kids. She just got tested because she caught it, I want to say back in February.
Yeah.
And she had probably the worst reaction of the whole family, but still didn't need hospitalization. She just got her antibodies tested. She has great antibodies right now. Doesn't have the vaccine, still may end up losing her job. Even though her antibodies are protecting her more so than the vaccine would.
So I'm waiting for the results. I had an antibody test done, but Pennsylvania is harder to do it in because they're trying to force the vaccine, so my wife works at a nursing home. They have to be 100% vaccinated, full vaccinated. How they're doing it is Medicare and Medicaid have come in and said, if you're not vaccinated, we're not paying your bills. And I said, how do you keep a job hostage and force them to do something they want? Force them not, tell them they're not going to pay. That's just, I think, the lowest thing ever.
Yeah.
And that's happening all over. As long as Medicare and Medicaid have this power saying, oh, if you're not vaccinated, we're not paying your bills. I mean, look at New York.
Well, on top of that, they force these hospitals and these companies to take Medicare and Medicaid.
Well, now that we're into this, now we have three companies that are in question: John Deere, Kaiser Permanente, and Southwest Airlines. If you didn't get the joke when we started, there's the joke. Southwest, theirs is very interesting. I thought that was very bold. Oh, if you don't get it, you're all fired. So because all the pilots are unionized, they grounded all their planes.
Yeah, they just called in sick. They did what the police call a blue flu.
Yeah, and speaking of blue flu, Maine, the state of Maine, is in this also. They don't have a 911 anymore.
Well, Chicago might fire right now. They're on their last strike, they said, for the police officers that don't want to get the vaccine. 3,300 police officers would be fired.
Yeah, I mean, the state of Maine.
In Chicago.
Chicago. Lori Lightfoot's going to have to beef up her personal security. I can tell you that.
The one place
she
where
needs
you
to
need
fucking
more
be
police,
fired too.
They're firing half the police.
It's that whole south side of Chicago is going to become a war zone. Because who's going to go and fucking deal with it now?
But then
Police
you
are
have
gonna be like,
Biden coming on and talking about these companies that, oh yeah, since they implemented the vaccine mandate, they went from 40% vaccinated to 98%.
Yeah, because they fired all the non-vax. They fired all the people that didn't get vaccinated.
You fire all the people. You know what? Your ratio goes up.
Right? Oh, I loved it. Wait, he decided to do his creepy whisper voice that day. Also, he goes, "Fox News has to be fully vaccinated to work." And then Tucker Carlson came out and said, "No, we don't. We promote the vaccine, but we do it by it's your choice."
Yep.
And that's how it should be. And even Trump promotes this vaccine. Because he created Operation Warp Speed. But he believes in choice. It's
personal
your
freedom.
choice if you want to get it or not.
Exactly.
Yes, he got vaccinated. And if you remember, I know we don't have videos of it, right before the election, Biden, Harris, everybody was like, who's going to get this vaccine? We don't going to trust it. If Trump is pushing out this vaccine, I'm not getting it.
Right. I remember that. Harris said it during the VP debates.
Yep. And so did Biden. Biden did it right during one of the debates. He goes, if it's going to come out, we're not going to know what's all in it. We're not going to know what the effects are. Who's going to tell you to line up and take the first shot? And it's like, wow, man, he gets out of office, man. That fucking script flipped real fucking quick, didn't it?
Because it has nothing to the left to do with helping people. It has to do with control. And they use everything that they can to keep control. Fauci was just on today.
We're from the government and we're here to help.
Yeah. Fauci was just on today saying that, the Delta variant is waning. Quick side note, my personal thing, it's waning right now because it's cooling down. So people are going outside in the south. Once it gets colder up here in the north, it's going to explode again. Why? Because it's people inside. It's exactly what it did last year. And I said last year that's what was going to happen. Oh, yeah. But Fauci said, oh, yeah, we're going to have another variant, and it's going to be because of the unvaccinated. The variants all come from out of the country. The Delta variant hit every other country before it hit us. It hit England like 6 months before it hit us.
Oh, yeah. And then they were saying it came over because of a bird. I was like, huh? How did a bird carry it?
So you have Fauci already blaming the unvaccinated because, again, it's that divide and conquer. If we can divide them and we can get them hating each other, we can make it, we can push through, and we can control anything we want.
So are the unvaccinated people like the Jews from Nazi Germany when they had to wear the Star of David on their arms?
Basically, that's what they want, or what it is. Unless you're Gina Serrano and you actually put that out online, and then you get fired for saying that.
Yeah. Because if you guys don't know your history at all, if you look at pre-World War II, when Nazi Germany when Hitler had just taken over, and he was just this is what they did. It was neighbor versus neighbor. They marked all Jews with a nice little band that goes on their shoulder.
Because they
letting them
blamed the
know
Jews
who's
for
Jewish.
the economic collapse in Germany after World War I during the Weimar Republic.
So all of them had to wear a Star of David on their arm. So therefore, you knew who was Jewish. And then
And you knew who to hate, who to blame. So your family can't afford bread, and it's that person with the yellow stripe on their arm. It's their fault.
Yeah. And then it became your neighbors turning on you. And then the neighbors turned into the government.
Yep.
We are doomed to repeat ourselves if we don't stop it. The thing is, there's people that remember history and there's people that know history.
And then you have all the left, and then you have the left claiming, well, this is nothing like that, or how dare you say something like that? That's, insulting to the Jews. It's about the mentality. It's about the mentality of blaming somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not even saying it. Oh yeah, it's the Jews' fault. No. You are using the situation as the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, as in the government and the Nazis versus the Jews. It's the same fucking scenario. It's just being played slightly off key. And that is my biggest fear, that people are going to have to choose.
When I say that we're heading towards another civil war, it will be, and it will be neighbor versus neighbor. It will be the douchebag this weekend that when we were at the gas station, my son asked for a candy bar, goes up to the counter. He's 10 years old. 10-year-old sees a candy bar. He runs up to grab it. The guy standing there looked at him, looked at me, and gave a little pushback. And every one of us in line waiting for him because he wouldn't let anybody stand within 6 feet of him. So we're all basically shoulder to shoulder, but he's telling everybody to get back. That douchebag, it's going to be us versus him.
I'm going to break his nose.
I wanted to. And as soon as he left, you should have heard everybody, including the girl behind the counter, saying stuff about him. Like, what a douchebag. Worse than that, he's a douche nozzle. And he's a douche nozzle that went in the wrong hole.
And then now you have John Deere's on strike. And John Deere, yeah, okay. I understand why they are on strike. And they're on strike, not yet only for the COVID, but also the employees are trying to get a better raise, their pension corrected after they gave their head CEO an additional $50,000 a year on top of his annual salary. I was like, wow, yeah. John Deere,
and they make it so that farmers can't even fix their own equipment.
They're being sued right now for that, for the right to fix.
Right to fix.
So, yeah, because where I live in between two big farms, and they have John Deere equipment, and they're not. I just saw a John Deere truck out there working on one of their tractors. I was like, it would have been so much easier if they could have just done it themselves.
And the thing is I know a lot of farmers, they can't. They know how to fix damn near everything.
Yeah. I know. But, and then there's Kaiser Permanente. One of the largest, at least in the top 5 medical groups. They are not for profit. They have the companies out in Oregon, California, and Hawaii are currently all on strike because of the COVID mandate. So, if you're out there, expect long waits, delays. reschedules because your doctor may not be there or they may not have staff. And the thing is, a lot of them, they can't be fired because a lot of Kaiser is unionized and the union has stepped in. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Because they're also in the middle of a renegotiation of a contract. And that's the only time workers can strike is if there's not an active unionized contract in place. So keep you updated on that. That's it for the strikes. But I
don't forget though the Southwest. What makes
Yeah.
the Southwest one even funnier though is their excuse to the public.
Oh yeah, weather.
Saying it was weather related. So they're saying we couldn't fly because of weather, yet every other airline was able to fly. It was most of their grounded flights were in Florida. It was sunny and clear.
It was sunny. That was the thing. Oh, I love TikTok. So there's a bunch of TikTok people that I watch from Florida. They're like, oh, we couldn't do anything because of the weather, and they'll be outside and it's like 90 out. And I'm like, they're talking like hurricanes right now, hurricane force winds, and I don't see shit.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the funniest thing is from the exact same airports that they're grounded, all the other flights, Delta, Northwest, Alaska, whatever, they're taking off.
Well,
no problem.
Well, I know Southwest backpedaled and said that they are not mandating the vaccine. So the next day, all those planes were able to take off magically. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you're going to piss off your pilots. Go for it.
But it was thousands of planes. It was thousands of flights, not just like, 50 flights in one airport or something. It was thousands.
It was almost all of them. And the ones that were already in the air. So I was reading either they did an emergency landing or when they landed, they didn't reboard.
Pilot, peace. I'm out of here. Going home.
I was like, what?
I'm landing in
Texas.
Guys, we're landing in Las Vegas. I'm going gambling.
Right? Dude, they're supposed to be putting a
Celine
casino in not far from where I live. Finally. They've been talking. They're putting it in our mall and in Old Macy's. They closed the restaurant.
So put a casino like right next to Curves. Or,
No. You know what's funny? Okay, so where it's going to be at in our mall, it's right across the street from a McDonald's and a Walmart. So the mall.
So is that on tribal land?
No, not at all. So it'd be more Amish than tribal. They forced the last restaurant to close out of there because it had a liquor license. State of Pennsylvania has a weird law with their liquor licenses. It's fucking retarded. So they forced this restaurant to close to take their liquor license so they can transfer it to the casino. They just got greenlit. This was years ago. And they just got greenlit earlier this year to start prepping the old Macy's building to become the casino. So they can also serve alcohol. I'm like, I was like, all right, I already know where my wife's going to be at after fucking work on payday.
Well, let's move on to our next one because we're at an hour and 45 right now.
We're good. All right. Let's talk about the shooters in Texas.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Let's talk about the shooter in Texas. So, he's out on bail. He was out on bail like the next day.
And there's a GoFundMe.
Yeah. Timothy George Simpkins, who attended Timberview High School in Arlington, has to be in home confinement after posting a $75,000 bail in Tarrant County Jail. So basically, from what I gathered reading the reports, is that he got into a fight with another guy. A teacher broke it up. He pulled out a gun and shot the other guy. Is that about summing up?
Yeah, they're saying he was bullied. So I got to find it. There was an actual kid that was there that saw the whole thing, and it was further from the truth. He was the one causing the crap, and a teacher walked in, and then they flipped script somehow, and he got mad, went and drew his gun and shot.
Out of his backpack, wasn't it?
Yeah, or something like that. Yes, I understand the state of Texas has Constitution carry for 18 and older. I understand that. The law also does state you're not allowed to take it to a school.
Yeah.
So he is in violation of the law. And before you go, we get into the whole race card thing about this. Yeah, no. His whole family is in a prominently wealthy area.
The family spokesman claimed that he acted out of self-defense after being robbed and targeted by bullies.
Which is a lie.
The fight was broke up, and the two students calmed down. But then Simpkins pulled out a firearm from his orange backpack and fired several shots that struck 3 people. So, okay, here's the thing. In order for there to be self-defense, your life has to be in imminent, immediate danger. So that's why, like, there's trials of people being convicted that were raped for years, you know, with a husband or a boyfriend or something, and killed them in their sleep and claim self-defense. And the court doesn't find them in self-defense because at the time that they committed the act, they weren't in imminent danger. They might have been down the road. They might have known, they might have been threatened, but there wasn't imminent direct danger at that point. Now, take that with, who's the kid from Wisconsin? During the riots in Wisconsin that fired on and killed 2 people and handicapped a third.
We talked about him a handful of times.
I know. Now, in those cases, he was in direct and imminent danger. He was attacked by the first person who was coming after or trying to grab his firearm. He was attacked by the second person with a...
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Kyle Rittenhouse, thank you. He was attacked by the second person with a skateboard. He had numerous people coming, chasing him down, potentially to beat him down. And the third person that he shot actually had a gun in his hand. That's imminent danger. He has a good defense for self-defense. And that's what self-defense is it doesn't give you the right to kill somebody. It's a defense against the law of murder.
So
but
the GoFundMe took down his GoFundMe, so because it's not on their website anymore.
Oh, but if, say, Kyle Rittenhouse at any point he was running away and nobody was chasing him, if he then turned around and just shot somebody, there was no imminent danger at that point. Therefore, there wouldn't have been self-defense at that point. That's not what happened. You can look at the video.
Rittenhouse in the beginning was that he brought the gun with him but he didn't. He got the gun while he was in Wisconsin.
And even so, he's under 18. That's a misdemeanor, but a misdemeanor does not trump self-defense.
So the law for hunting in Wisconsin is for 16 and older for that style of gun that he had. That's what his lawyer is pushing, which is a legal argument of him having that weapon. Do I think? Am I on the side
or you
of
have the
Kyle
people
Rittenhouse?
that say he was there, and because he was there with a gun, he wanted to kill people. No,
There were people in the BLM riot that had guns, so they were intended to kill people, right?
there was a lot of people there that were not a part of the riot that were protecting that had guns.
Oh no, I understand the situation with Kyle Rittenhouse. So
I'm just trying
what
to
Kyle
for
Rittenhouse
the people
was doing,
that aren't.
if you don't remember, he was defending a piece of property. And he was shot at first. He returned fire. His bullets happened to hit the person shooting him. So therefore, it is technically self-defense because his life was in danger. That's how I'll go at it as. Until you can prove me otherwise.
And you know what? I don't care what any court says. I've seen all the videos.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
So this is unfortunately just one of those, oh, we're just going to throw it at the wall and see what sticks kind of moments.
Yeah. Now, in the case of Texas, this kid literally had time to reach into his bag and fire 3 rounds or multiple rounds. I don't know if it was 3, but hit 3 people. That was not self-defense. Even if Kyle Rittenhouse was falling back and was just randomly spraying, that wouldn't have been self-defense. With self-defense, you have to target the person that is your immediate threat. There is no, from what I know of this Texas shooting, there is no defense against it. There is no self-defense. There is no realm in which that could be claimed self-defense.
He was arrested they arrested him and booked him on the 6th. He was bonded out on the 7th. And then his parents threw him a party.
No.
Because right now he's being charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
So let me put it this way.
He took a life. That murder should be on a table. Period. And he did it in a school.
And he did it willingly. Premeditatively, because he took the firearm to school.
Yeah.
Now, let me put it this way, another way. I teach self-defense and martial arts to my son and to some other kids. The one thing that I stress, regardless, everybody watches UFC now. And what happens when the person goes down in the UFC? Do you know what the term is called? When you go after them?
No.
It's called ground and pound.
Yeah, okay. I've heard
they go
that.
down, you get on top, you maybe do knee on belly, or you might mount and you pound. That's because the UFC, mixed martial arts is a sport. And the object of the sport is to either knock out, get a TKO, or make the person tap out. In a schoolyard, or even on the street, if you get into a fight and you're defending yourself, if they go down and you jump on top and start wailing on them, it's no longer self-defense. Because now you're the aggressor and not the defender.
Oh, yeah.
That's what happened in this case, in my view. He may have, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he did start defending himself. But the instant that there was no longer a threat and he pulled out that firearm, he was the aggressor and no longer the defender. All right. Last thing that we need to talk about is Biden's infrastructure bill. Oh, two more things. We'll end on a high note with the Xbox fridge.
Oh, I need a new mini fridge. Don't you?
Yeah. Yes, I could. But I want to play this. So here's the thing with the infrastructure bill. It's 2,000 pages long, over 2,000 pages long.
Oh my God.
It's basically an omnibus package. They're going to throw the Democrats have thrown everything that they've wanted for the last 15 years into this package.
In this one bill.
It's a streamlined Green New Deal. It's part of it. Yeah, a big part of it is a Green New Deal. Plus, it covers people unemployment. It covers housing for convicted felons.
Yeah.
I mean, so here's Fox News. They went into this and picked probably there's a lot that they didn't go over, but this is some of the highlights of stuff that's in the bill that you just got to listen, because this is I mean, we are in crazy town. Like, honestly, are we in an alternate universe? Here it is.
They want $400 billion for government daycare. That's right. Hundreds of billions for federally funded babysitters. Literally cradle to the grave. Largest tax increase in American history, $2 trillion. Higher business taxes than socialist Europe and even communist China. Taxes passed down to consumers with higher prices, fueling more massive inflation, bringing us back to the Carter years. $50 billion in death taxes. Makes you pay more taxes after you die, so your family doesn't get as much. $80 billion tax hike on small businesses, which just got slaughtered during the pandemic. Taxes on energy, taxes on employers, and if you smoke cigarettes, the cost of a pack just went way up. Big time tobacco taxes here. Doubles the number of IRS agents, and none are going to be allowed to look at Hunter Biden, just at the rest of us. Lets IRS agents spy on your bank account if you have a balance of over $600, which is pretty much everybody. This is $7 billion for the Green New Deal climate police. They wanted to fund the real police, but fund the climate police. $10 billion in Green New Deal slush funds to indoctrinate college students. $2 billion for green job training. Now, remember, Obama already tried this, and he couldn't point to a single green job he created. This blocks American energy exploration, which increases our dependence on the Middle East and Russia. Great areas. $27 billion for a green bank. We're getting ripped off, guys. This is where donors go for cheap loans. It's that simple. Forces Americans to use wind and solar in places where it isn't very sunny or windy. California already did this, and it caused rolling blackouts. They basically want to turn America into California. No, thank you. We'd like to keep our lights on. Billions in kickbacks for green donors and activists. $25 million for butterflies. That's right. $25 million for desert fish. I didn't even know they had fish in the desert. And $25 million for mussels. Not these, although I'd take the money. A $4 billion slush fund for radical activists to tear down racist infrastructure. Not sure a train station can be racist, but okay. To me, it sounds like...
Okay, before we go further on that, a racist infrastructure? How can an infrastructure be racist? Like...
I don't know.
Institutional racism, we talked about this on a previous episode. There's no real proof that it still exists. Like, institutionally, maybe, there's people that still have, benefit from stuff from years ago, but there's nothing now. So what's there to tear down? The fact that it, at one point in some time of history, had racist leanings? Well, the government is basically what created racism during the Jim Crow era.
Like taxpayer-funded statue toppling. Maybe the George Washington Bridge is coming down. You never know. It makes crossing the border much easier, makes it harder to deport illegals, and spends $100 billion to give amnesty to 10 million illegals. Free college tuition for illegals, free tax credits and welfare for illegals. And Biden wonders why the illegals are coming from South America to get here. $500 million for, ready? Culturally appropriate school lunches. What does that mean? Taco Tuesdays? $7 billion for Ivy League schools, the wealthiest schools in the country. The word equity plastered all over this thing. That means reverse racism.
Pause it for a second.
$250 billion.
So, in the school industry, I've been in for forever. It feels like. If you wonder why you have student loans and they're so fucking expensive, is reasons like that. Schools know the federal government is backing their loans. That's why their tuitions are so fucking high in the first place.
And they know they'll give kids loans for anything.
Correct. So if you go back in time, 60s, 70s, 80s, early 90s, you get a 4-year degree under $10,000. Then the Department of Education came out and said, oh, we're going to really start backing better loans so we can get more people to go to school. Increased all these tuitions. You know how many tenured employees are at most schools? And for example, Penn State, not far from me, announced their 4-year degree. 4-year degree, $81,000 a year, $81,000 for the 4 years. I'm sorry.
So, I remember when I was in college, and this was in the early 2000s. My first year, and this was a state school.
Yeah.
And my first year, it was $151 a credit. By the time I graduated, it was $320 a credit. In that short amount of time.
Yeah, because that was about when
that was
FAFSA loans were more popular versus trying to get grants and scholarships or private loans.
Right. And you know, and the thing is it was, now I owe so much money for an education that I don't even use. And right. I don't even know if I'd call it education. Most of my classes were indoctrination classes. I had one professor that somehow convinced me at the time that I was Marxist.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'm glad that I wised up and grew up. So, I mean, so that's the thing. Now, my wife, she went to a community school. Her parents would not allow her to take any loans out. And she's making as much money a year as I am. Yep. And doesn't have any school loans.
Yep.
But the promise was, oh, you get a bachelor's degree, you're going to be making, $100,000 when you get out of school.
The problem is you don't have the experience. Because they're looking for the degree and experience. You can't have one without the other. And it's hard to get the experience in because you have to hope that someone's going to take a risk on you.
Well, and that was the thing. I remember when I got out of school, I had the degree, but then they also wanted 3 years experience on top of it. Well, how the hell do you get the 3 years experience in that field? Not like, oh, you 3 years out of college. No, 3 years experience in that field.
Yeah.
So, all right.
No. All right.
To bail out health insurance companies. Didn't we just give those guys $1 trillion last year during the pandemic? They need more money. Free housing for convicted felons. Beat your wife, here's some rent money. Penalizes getting married, keeps single mothers stuck on subsidies, and includes taxpayer-funded abortions. Grants to treat people for loneliness. I'm sorry, but I'm not paying for someone to find dates. There's an app for that.
There is so much shit inside of this bill.
That's not including all the shit that's being sent overseas. That's the thing. You're paying all these other countries money on top of that.
So Biden, if this goes through, Biden will have spent more than $10 trillion this year.
3 trillion equals zero in his eyes. I want to know how.
And then taxing everyone. That's the thing. Saying, oh, we're not going to tax anyone if you make under $400,000. I don't know what happened to Obama's, it was 200,000, then it was 500,000, now it's 400,000.
Right.
The thing is you're taxing cigarettes, which is primarily people of, not making $400,000, lower to middle income. You're taxing the companies, the small businesses that hire these low to middle class people. You're taxing, don't bother saving your money, because if you die, that gets taxed, even though you were already taxed on it when you got it.
Oh, if you know you're dying, you need to sell it to them before you die, and you don't have to worry about that.
I'd like to see how this deals with a trust, because a living trust, because that was always the way around it. Is the money's not yours, the money's in a trust, and therefore I don't know if that actually counted as an income tax or anything, but
I don't know.
If there's anybody listening that is an accountant, let us know. But the thing is there's so much shit in this. So much shit on top of the taxes, on top of the IRS, because they're spending so much money, they want to hire more IRS to look at every single person's bank account, which means the banks now have to spend more money, because now they have to have somebody or multiple people keeping these databases to send to the IRS. It's
sad.
It is. And they say, oh, well, we're not going after the everyday person for tax evasion. We're going after the uber rich. Well, then why'd you make it $600? Because $600 is the minimum that the IRS says you need to pay taxes on. If somebody gives you money, if grandma gives you money in your bank account to pay gives you $1,000 to pay a bill.
Rent.
That'd
be a rent.
That's taxed. Now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the bullshit with this administration and with the Democrats. Come on, Democrats. Are you guys so spineless that you're letting the socialists run you guys completely? Do you not go home and actually look at the people in their eyes that you're actually affecting?
See, the Democratic Party is not the same as it used to. I remember hearing about how the Democrats used to be. And the Democrats were the party of the people. Now they're just party of themselves. And this is where the swamp needs to
They're the
get
party of
drained.
power is what they are.
This is where term limits need to come in. And an age limit. For fuck's sake. I'm sorry, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they're too fucking old to be in their positions. Get them the fuck out. They do know as soon as, in a few weeks, guys do realize the election for Congress is next month. Vote.
The campaigning starts.
The campaign's already started. The vote's in November, and then everything gets updated in January. This is the opportunity to get them out.
I thought that wasn't until next year.
Next year's in 3 months, man.
No, November of 22.
No. Votes in November of 2021.
I'm going to have to look that up because I don't think I have anybody up for voting this year. It's next year.
I know Pennsylvania's this year. California's this year. There's almost every seat in the House and Congress is up.
And that's why they're pushing this bill, is they want to get this through before they lose power.
Oh, yeah. Because they have the House and the Senate, and they have the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Granted, I can't stand Mitch McConnell. I hope there's a new Republican that runs for Kentucky and get him out of there.
Yes.
He is the most two-faced.
He is another politician that needs to get out.
Oh, yeah.
That they need to term limit on. So.
I believe
all right.
2 8-year terms, I think, would be fine.
Yeah. Not have people that have been in there since the early 70s.
Right?
That have been in Congress longer than I've been alive.
So I know back in the 50s, 50s, 60s, Congress were part-timers. They actually had to have an actual job. That's what they need to go back to. They need to be punished for insider trading, Nancy Pelosi.
Yep.
Okay, well, fuck you. You're gonna arrest what's her name?
Martha Stewart?
Martha Stewart for insider trading. Your ass should go to jail too.
Yeah. You know what's coming down the pipeline to affect these companies and these stocks before it ever happens. How does Nancy Pelosi, who makes what do they make? She makes a little bit more than a normal congressman.
Yeah,
so,
she has the House Speaker
position, but it's still like around less than 200,000, I think, a year.
No, they just got a raise to bump it up to 200,000.
Okay. And yet somehow she's worth 300 million.
Yeah. That's because of her husband, which he's a putz.
Same thing with Joe Biden. Joe Biden's worth millions, and what has he done in his life? Been in Congress.
That's a good question. That is a very good question.
He wrote a book that nobody read.
Wait, he wrote a book?
He had somebody else write his memoir after he was vice president during Trump administration. That's what his taxes were for that he didn't pay, was because rather than him paying the taxes on the book itself, he put it into a DBA. And that's why, and so he claimed like 800,000 in taxes rather than the 1.3 or 1.5 million.
Something like that.
Because Trump owed all them taxes, but no, wait, that was Biden. That was dodging taxes.
Chicago hasn't paid Trump yet his $1 million. Yeah, you guys didn't know, Trump overpaid his taxes on Trump Tower in Chicago. And they're supposed to give him $1 million back, but yet they are holding on to him. because they don't want to give it.
Yep.
And I know Lori likes.
But from the left, all I hear is he's going to jail for his tax evasion. Oh. Okay, let's talk about Xbox. Xbox mini fridge. Pre-order October 19th. That's from
tomorrow.
The date this is tomorrow.
That'd be tomorrow.
From the date this is recorded.
You know what else?
So by the time you
tomorrow?
hear this,
Yeah.
it'll be out. Or at least pre-order. It'll ship in December. So, as promised, Microsoft will start shipping the Xbox Series 10 mini fridge in time for the holidays. The company said the fridge costs $100 and pre-orders start October 19th and will ship in December. The mini fridge has its roots in an image Xbox tweeted to show the scale of the Xbox Series 10 versus a full-size fridge. Microsoft actually made a 6-foot fridge last year to promote the launch of the console. Now, after a Twitter battle of the band's victory, a mini version of the fridge is something you can actually buy.
Well, they made fun of. Everybody made fun of it. That said that it looked like a goddamn fridge when the console came out.
It did look like a mini fridge.
That was the whole point. That was the whole thing. And then they like, oh well, then we might as well just make a fucking fridge out of it.
And you know what? From what I saw on Twitter, people are going crazy over this.
Oh yeah.
How are you going crazy over a mini fridge that glows green?
The amazing minds of gamers. I can tell you that right now.
I mean, I kind of want to buy it just for shits and giggles.
The aesthetic that you have an Xbox that looks like a fridge, or a fridge that looks like an Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not going to buy an Xbox. I'm a PS person.
I play PC, so I'm out of that one.
My son's getting more and more into PC. He hasn't touched the PS and PS4 in probably 2 months now. Now that we figured out he figured out that I could put Windows on the Mac. He's like, this is so much better than my friends even. And I'm like, yeah, a 10-year-old Mac runs better than a Windows computer. Runs Windows better than a Windows computer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I have a mini fridge out in my barn. I'm building my man cave. At some point in the next decade, it'll be complete. Should I put that in there? It's not even that big of a fridge. Doesn't look that big. It can hold 12 cans of your favorite energy drink. So it's so small it can hold a 12-pack. 12-pack of beer, of canned beer. Not even bottled. So we're not talking dorm size mini fridge. We're talking like under the desk mini fridge.
Oh yeah, that's a close quarters mini fridge.
Although I also kind of want to buy one of them single can mini fridges that plug into your USB port. Have you seen them?
I think I have, yeah.
They're on Amazon. They're on Wish. The cheap knockoffs are on Wish or Geek. But it just looks so cool. Like, oh, I can put my can in here and keep it cool. And it plugs into the computer.
Yeah.
But it only holds one can.
I mean, if you're going to go like that, just get a Yeti can and have it already cold and just stick it in there. It'll never get warm.
Oh, yeah. The Yeti. I just bought myself for camping a Yeti cooler. I couldn't believe this summer. I put ice in there with my food and stuff.
Yeah.
Never had to put more ice in it.
No.
Had it out in 80-degree weather, 90-degree weather for like 5 days. Had to drain some water, but that's about it.
Yeah. It'll fucking stay cold. Those Yetis fucking amazing. channel.
And it's
But-
huge, too.
All right.
It's big.
So let's get ready to end this thing.
Yeah. Hey, can you tell people how they can contact us?
So, yeah. So, you can always check us out on firetalkradio.com. That's our website. That's where everything you go to find us at. If you want to email us, you can check us out at firetalknetwork@gmail.com. Our voicemail is 814-380-9820. That is our voicemail. If you want to just leave us a message, I'll get it, play it, answer your questions, comments, whatever. Want to say hi? Go for it. And you could also, if you go to our contact page on our website, you can find us on your favorite streaming service between Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, Audible, and iHeartRadio. Check us out. Play us, whatever. How you want to stream it is your choice. We gave you the options.
All right. You want to go ahead and land us?
Yeah. Well, thank you for everybody enjoying Fire Talk Network. We are now still on the landing strip. We kind of made it like 2 feet away from the bridge, so we're just gonna go back up a little bit and let y'all out. So I hope you enjoy this. Just remember, mind your butthole, and have a nice flight. Good night.
Music provided by Psychostick.